what if I told you the secret to better fundraising wasn't really about asking for money at all? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty powerful shift in thinking, treating your supporters not as, piggy banks, but as true partners. Let's get into how this one change can unlock not just funding, but really deep, lasting relationships.
So, this is the big question, right? When you think about your donors, what do you see? Is it just a list of potential ATM transactions, or do you see a group of people who could become real partners in your mission? The answer to that question, well, it changes absolutely everything. It's the difference between just getting short-term cash and building long-term, sustainable growth.
And this idea, from philanthropy advisor Manuel Mesa, really gets to the heart of it. The most successful fundraising, it's not about the flashiest campaign or the most urgent-sounding appeal. Nope, it's built on something way simpler and, frankly, much more powerful: a genuine human connection.
So, what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's jump into a case study that shows the incredible power of putting the person before the potential payout. This is the story of a $1.5 million relationship. Okay, so here's the setup. Manuel Mesa is advising a synagogue on a huge capital campaign. He lands a meeting with a major potential donor, we'll call him Sam. Now, the obvious move would be to go in there with a big, flashy presentation and a huge financial ask, right? But that's the one thing he didn't do.
So instead of just asking for a check, Manuel took a totally different path, and it had 3 key steps. First, he just focused on building the relationship. We're talking months of conversations and lunches and just listening. He wasn't looking for a moment to pounce. He was trying to genuinely understand what made Sam tick. And only after all that did he connect the synagogue's goals to what truly mattered to Sam personally.
And the result of all that patience, all that relationship building, a $1.5 million donation. And look, that number isn't just a transaction. It is the direct, tangible result of building a real, trusting partnership.
And you gotta hear this quote from Manuel himself. He says he felt like he got more from the relationship than the donor did. That tells you everything, doesn't it? This wasn't just a successful fundraising pitch. It was a mutually valuable partnership. When the fundraiser feels just as enriched, you know you've built something truly special. Now, that kind of trust, it doesn't just happen by accident. So, how do you build it? Well, it all starts with a serious commitment to transparency. Your donors need to know, without a single doubt, what's happening with their money. A fantastic tool for this is the Donor Bill of Rights. Think of it as a public pledge, a formal promise about how you're going to operate ethically and transparently. It sets the ground rules from the very beginning and starts building that foundation of trust right out of the gate. And here are just a few of the key promises inside that framework. It all boils down to fundamental respect. Donors have a right to know where their money is going and to be recognized for their support. This isn't just about being polite, it's about empowering your partners with information, which, let's face it, is the foundation of any healthy relationship. So here's a super simple, really powerful action you can take, like today. Put the Donor Bill of Rights right up front, on your website, in your brochures. It's a clear, proactive signal that you value transparency and you take your donors' trust seriously. Okay, so you've built that foundation of trust. What's next? It's all about communication. This is the cornerstone that's going to maintain and deepen those relationships. But it can't just be random. It has to be strategic. A huge part of strategic communication is realizing that one size does not fit all. You would never send the same message to a major long-term partner that you'd send to a first-time donor, right? Tailoring your communication shows that you see them as individuals, not just as, another entry in a database. And this communication, it has to be honest, and it has to be a two-way street. Don't hide the tough stuff. Real partners, they want to know the full story so they can help. Be open about your operating costs and explain how they actually fuel the mission. And this is critical. Listen. Create ways for your donors to give you feedback so they feel like their voice actually matters. All right, let's pull all of this together. Here is a clear roadmap with the key takeaways you can use to start building a more donor-centric approach in your own organization, like right now. So, this is your roadmap. It all starts with personalization, seeing the person behind the donation. From there, you treat them like the partners they are, building that relationship on a solid bedrock of transparency. You tailor your communication to show you're actually paying attention. And you're always proactive and honest. That's the formula, right there, for turning one-time contributors into lifelong champions for your mission. So I'll leave you with this to think about.
Who is one person in your donor community you could connect with on a deeper level this week? Not to ask for money, just to listen. What one conversation could you start? Because that single conversation, it might just be the beginning of your next great partnership.